Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to your current affairs show on Radio Apni Awaz. We've had a few discussions before the break. So we're moving on to an issue that is, I think everybody is talking about, which is that there was a ceasefire announced in it was announced in Palestine. Occupied Palestine was. They said that there will be a ceasefire. Both parties agreed. The Hamas agreed, and so did the IDF. The Israeli government agreed, and the Hamas agreed to exchange to have a ceasefire. But during the ceasefire, what happened was the Zionist entities began to attack Gaza again, and accused Hamas of not giving them the dead bodies of the remaining hostages. I think it was 20 hostages that they had given back alive, and the rest they said it's hard for us to find, especially under the rubble.
I think they did give a few bodies, but then the rest of them they had problems with. I think what's happening here is they've got a really bad deal as of the Palestinian. So we're talking about the Palestinian population, but Hamas, which is a proscribed terrorist group, United Kingdom, that particular organization dealt with the people from Qataris, but they had overwhelming pressure because they had many Muslim nations who already signed, who said they believe in the Trump peace deal. So I think, I don't know when it's going to happen, but apparently there was a ceasefire.
Mm-hmm.
But that ceasefire is apparently is supposed to be holding, even though we are hearing reports that there's been massacres by the Israelis in Gaza. So a couple of days ago, we know 91 people were killed, including 18 people from the same family. So that is quite horrific. And when Hamas released the 20 live hostages, they more or less lost all their bargaining chips. They haven't got much power now. I think they played a very good tactic. The US stroke Israel, and basically they've got that territory under occupation. It's still going to remain under occupation for a while, and until they take all the resources. I think I'm trying to be as simplistic and straightforward as possible. They've got a really bad deal. I don't see him leaving the Western stroke Israeli nations, leaving that particular region for a very long time. So unfortunately the normal Palestinian people have lost out. We do know that they are trying to cause a civil war within Gaza, and that is basically Hamas and another couple of the factions now backed by Israel and a couple of other sources, unnamed sources, Arab nations, I think it was. So we've got other militia groups, or should we say other terrorist groups, who are operating in Gaza. And it doesn't look like it's going to end well until the Supreme Leader Trump stroke Tony Blair arrives, I think.
But I think there's so much devastation that we've seen for over two years, that everything was beamed to all corners of the globe. People demonstrated, people took to the streets, they demanded action to free Palestine, and this needs to continue, because you can't expect the there was a saying called "you can't expect the leopard to change its colors." This is an occupier. It's an occupied land, and it has responsibility for the crimes it commits. A genocide is what it did. You can not get away with this. This is not. This is not the age of. This is the age of technology. You've got social media. You've got mainstream media. Even though that's dumbed down a bit and is more propaganda for the Zionists. So we've got some responsibility here to become the voice for them people.
Especially, I think, in people in the West, UK, US, and a couple of other nations, they can influence. Our MPs need to do a lot more. The councils need to do a lot more. Basically, they need to have a united front against this. And people in general, there needs to be organizations, groups that promote PR for Islam and peaceful. They want peace entity groups or something. There needs to be something there in place. What we're seeing is that nothing. Everybody's disunited. Nothing's happening, and the end result is that we have people who basically Gaza still occupied. You can do as many marches as you want. We had the Iraq march where over 1 million people came to the streets of the UK. What happened? They still went for a legal war, and this is illegal as well. What's happening? So we need to point that out. That people still need to put pressure, the marching, but also around us, behind the scenes, there needs to be other work in place as well. There needs to be institutions and organizations created to, like the Jews, also more. I think I need to rectify what I said. The Zionists are doing, who are basically having these groups where they infiltrate the MPs and politicians and journalists to say what the narrative is. So so I think a lot more needs to happen, and especially we've still got an occupied West Bank, which they're taking in thousands of hostages, and nothing happens there. This is over here in Gaza.
And the settlements are illegal according to the United Nations and international law.
Yeah.
So they basically they don't even give a damn about international law. They don't give a damn about the United Nations. They don't give a damn about anybody. And Tommy Robinson, he was in and he was with one of the rabbis, or was it a rabbi, who told him that the Britain should go to hell. He's supposed to be
a special place in hell.
Special place.
Not just hell, but a special place in hell.
And Tommy didn't respond to him to say who.
No, he had his head bowed down. Like a
He's
good boy.
taking a lot of opposition now from people who supported him with finance, ordinary people.
No, people are coming out, and I've seen. I need to get hold of that reel again, shall we say, where people have come out saying he's a dodgy guy. He's got what we call GoFundMe pages and other pages, and he's feeding himself. Obviously, we know he's a multimillionaire.
Yeah, so he's basically used that money that he's grabbed and used it for his own. But this is obviously people questioning that. Where is the money going? Yeah. So obviously we're just basically talking about the ceasefire. And obviously the ceasefire, the people did celebrate because, they were in a very, very dire situation.
Yeah.
They were not
desperate,
in a desperate situation, very desperate situation. So
and I think they had no choice.
They had no choice, no?
They had to give up.
The people, you can't expect those people under occupation who are surrounded from four corners and they're being mistreated.
Yeah, and they know that the Muslim nations have just signed it as something to say that they want peace, and Donald Trump has ordered them to do that, and they know that nobody from outside will help them, so they had no choice basically.
Yeah, this is something that what you've mentioned. People are asking, what the hell are the rulers for? That was used to say these are Palestinians are our people.
Yeah.
Arab rulers, if you look at them,
I think we need to let people know we're not talking about the ruler where you measure things. We're talking about the dodgy rulers in these countries who are what we call ruling, and they very shall we say offensive to their own populations. Their own populations don't want this. Their own population are crying out for them to help Palestine. So I think we need to mention that we're talking about these are rulers who are generals, who are kings.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, what we want is for the people to live in peace and harmony, and obviously, what is conflicts? It's not even between two countries. It's not even between two armies. It's civilians against an army. What kind of defense are they going to do? What kind of you've had this conflict going on for 2 years, and your aim, what you said, you've not been able to achieve. So is the situation now better or worse? And I believe it's worse, because now that all of this has happened, the world now understands politics, understands how the international world order works. There used to be a world order, and people used to respect the West for its international deals and stuff like that. But now it's looking very, very uneasy, and looking at like nothing's working.
I think they see that Israel gets the upper hand on everything, and even Donald Trump listens to what Israel has to say. Obviously, we do know that he's financed by Zionist organizations or lobbies, so maybe that's the reason. But they have got their own rule book. They could commit any atrocity and get away with it.
So it looks,
Unfortunately.
we've got no time. We've got like a minute or so. And if you got anything to add to that, I'll just say that what we have to do is talk about the rulers, expose them for what they're doing. So whatever they should have done, they weren't able to do. So there's obviously if a crime is being committed and you don't stop the criminal. In this case, it's just not one thief that's going around. It's a whole regime that is persecuting the people for talking about Gaza and solving the problem of Gaza. So with that, I think if you've got anything to add...
I'll just probably say, look, people need to be mindful of what's happening. They need to be in the know, because it definitely is, especially in the UK or even around the world, people who are Muslim are treated in a very negative light compared to others. And it's no fault of their own, but they'll make it seem like it's your fault, but it isn't. We don't need to condemn any atrocity that happens in the world. We're here living our own lives, but when you see oppression or whenever you see things are getting bad or worse for people, you need to speak up. And I think me and AJ Saab, who are speaking up for a couple of years, I haven't been to many marches, but one or two here and there. But I think the main thing is speaking up, and we've got the courage to come on a live radio station and on other platforms as well to say that this is wrong. And I think a lot more people do need to come out. And the MPs are really silent, and the leaders in the countries need to speak up as well. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, and with that we take your leave, and with the Islamic greeting, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah.